Back to the Springs Radio Real Estate Show. I'm Cheryl Garlock with Colorado Front Range Properties, and my very special guest today is Renee Rawlings with Cornerstone Home Lending. And Renee, I am so glad you are here because you know there's a topic I've been wanting to talk about for a long time here, and you're the best person. I mean, we got two great topics I want to talk about today here, and you're the best person to go ahead and focus in on this and help me get this conversation started. But you know, one of the things I wanted to talk about is, you know, everybody hears Dave Ramsey is a pretty good talk show host, and actually has some pretty good pearls of wisdom, I think, out there by and large. But you don't cast everybody in the same basket. No. You know, and you can't. And sometimes I think people get that a little bit misconstrued when they are sort of listening to his advice and taking his advice there. And really, you got to remember, he's talking to a national audience there, and his biggest thrust is talking about being debt-free and the benefits of being debt-free. And in a way, you know, I think we all would like to think that that is always the best thing, but sometimes people don't understand that there's good debt too.
Correct.
Can you help us elaborate on what kind of good debt there might be?
Yeah, good debt is something that you can manage, something that you can afford, something that has value to you. Mm-hmm. So for example, a credit card. Mm-hmm. If you needed an emergency, you have it. Mm-hmm. But don't use it as living beyond your means. Good debt is simply living within your means, showing your responsibility to pay and handle the debt.
You know, so let me first go back here. You're absolutely right, Renee, here. First of all, you guys, you have to understand, it isn't going away anytime ever. We are a credit-driven society. We really cannot live without having the ability to have credit. So you mentioned credit card. Mm-hmm. You know, so when you know, when you have, what kind of debt we got? We got student loans, we got mortgages, we got credit card debt.
Car payment.
And car payments. These are our big four, you might say.
Personal loans.
Personal loans there. Okay, so let me just say one thing. As much as I am a real estate broker and have been in this business for a long, long time, your mortgage is not going to put food on your table.
No.
And it's not going to put gas in your car. No. But a credit card will. So you want to live within your means with regards to your credit cards particularly, but other things as well. You know, car loans, student loans, mortgages, everything there. But, you know, you never want to forsake your credit cards. Never ever forsake those credit cards. Pay at least the minimum amount. Isn't that right? But if you can pay more, you should. Can you help us elaborate on that?
I would always recommend, even if it's $5 above the minimum.
Yeah.
Do that.
Mm-hmm. And that's because you're trying to show an illustration on your credit. Yes. to the credit reports.
Correct.
To lenders. Now this means you're trying to build up your credit power, so to speak, here, so that whether you're buying a car or whether you're buying a mortgage or you need to get a home equity line of credit or anything where you need to borrow money, you need to show that you are a responsible payer of debt.
Correct.
And so that you can handle it responsibly. So even paying a little bit more, doesn't have to be a lot more, is great. And then also, what about, Renee, when, you know, let's say you've got a $10,000 line of credit. Does that mean you should go ahead and charge up $9,000?
No.
No. What should they charge up if they're going to charge up? What's the most, would you think?
Well, you never want to charge more than 50% of the limit given to you.
Right.
The rule of thumb. And a lot of people are even more conservative than that and recommend 30%.
Right. I don't think a lot of people know that and the reason why that is. Can you tell us why?
The minute you hit over 50%, your scores are tanking down. Mm-hmm. It's that happy medium of showing that you are responsible with the credit.
Right. Meaning, just because it was given to you, say a line of credit of $10,000, you're responsible enough to say you're only going to use half of that.
That's correct.
Or less than half of that.
Exactly.
So you manage, you know, so you manage your personal finances there. So I think that is really, really, really good there. What are some other things that, you know, that might be of interest here with regards to credit and managing credit?
I think the biggest thing for me is that, you know, the word that we love the best is debt-free. Mm-hmm. And why do we love it? Because it means that we're not responsible for something else. It gives us a little bit of freedom. The deal is this, though. If you completely remain debt-free and you don't have anything for Fair Isaac, to grade and give you credit scores, you will lose those credit scores.
You know, we get a lot of people who have had bankruptcies and they go, okay, these credit cards are the things that got me into trouble. I'm never going to have a credit card again. I'm just canceling everything out. Do not cancel your credit cards.
Absolutely do
now,
not.
Now if you put a credit card or something like that and you do a bankruptcy, then okay, fine, that goes that way. But if you haven't done that or it's post-bankruptcy and you got new cards or whatever the case may be, by the way, if you do file bankruptcy, you will get offers like at the yin yang. Do you guys know why? You know why they get offers at the yin yang?
Because they know you can't file again.
Yeah, you can't file again.
So they're not
you can't
gonna
file
lose.
again for 8 years. So they can definitely come after you.
Right.
So it's a no loss situation for those debtors
And revolving
or
debt
creditors.
is, yes, and revolving credit is the only credit that gives you history.
Mm-hmm. That's
as
right.
long as you keep it open.
Right. So that's a big thing, you guys, too. Don't close your accounts. You don't close your bank accounts. You don't close your credit card accounts, I should say,
Right.
really. Or, now, of course, when you pay a car off, then it's closed.
Right, and and history stops, doesn't it?
And then history
Same
stops.
thing with an
But
installment loan.
same
of
thing.
Any sort, or student loans.
Absolutely. A mortgage, whether
Right.
you refinance it, whatever the case, or you pay it off.
History stops.
History
once it's
stops.
paid.
But credit cards are revolving, and they want to see that. Okay, so and also, sometimes I don't know if you've had this experience, Renee, but I have had the experience where if I don't go ahead and use them periodically, they'll close the accounts on their own.
After 2 years.
After 2 years.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do that. And
Put a
sometimes
tank of
he
gas
does.
on it.
Put a tank of gas. Go to Starbucks.
Go to dinner.
Go to dinner. Then go back and pay it off, say, the next day through your online. That's a wonderful thing we can do with online. Go to your credit card company and pay it off the next day or whatever.
Allow it to cycle.
Or allow it to cycle for one 30-day period because you have the cycling there. So I think that's an important element there. I know my husband was always trying to say, well, gosh, I always just pay all my stuff off immediately. And he wanted to know why my score was as close or as high as his was. And I let mine ride a little bit. And it's because I show I can borrow it and then I can responsibly pay it back.
That's right.
And that's really what you need to be able to go ahead and do. So, maintaining credit, the answer is not to get rid of your credit card debt. Do not do that.
Yeah.
In fact, you know what I do? I put in my calendar, really, I do, once a quarter or at least once every 6 months, I should say. I'd say, go charge credit cards. I mean, $5. That's it. I'm talking about $5 or just something, and then I let it cycle, and then I go ahead and go pay it off.
If you live 100% debt free and you lose your FICO scores,
Yeah.
can you get a loan?
No. Hey, you know what? We've got a lot more to share with you on the Springs Radio Real Estate Show here, so stay tuned because Renee and I are going to be talking about some properties coming up, and we're going to be talking about condos and townhomes, but you do not want to miss it, so stay right with us. We'll be right back.